everybody, welcome back. These are some entitled brides and grooms and their insane demands. Compilation! Am I the a-hole for talking my family out of giving my future sister-in-law our traditional wedding gift and risk being uninvited? All right. You may be seated. My family is Asian while my future sister-in-law is white. I don't have a problem with interracial relationships as we have several members of our extended family who married other races. In fact, I'm currently in a serious relationship with a woman who is also white. My girlfriend is wonderful and loves trying new things that my culture has to offer. Some things she loves, other things she likes, and she downright hates some things. The main point is that she tries them, whether it's music, food, or traditions. My future sister-in-law is the complete opposite. She rarely comes to family dinner because she doesn't like the smell of our food. She doesn't join in our celebrations because it's so different. For example, the Lunar New Year is a huge celebration for us, and she calls it fake New Year, and we just made it up to party. You know, there's like different cultures with like different calendars, right? This bride has just discovered culture.
What a time to be alive.
She and my brother are having their wedding soon, and surprise, she didn't want any of our culture in it. It got to the point that my parents almost refused to go. We had to have a huge sit down to smooth things over, and I was actually on my brother's side, even though I was also annoyed by sister-in-law. I told my parents it's their wedding and we should stay out of the planning. The trouble started when my girlfriend and I took my parents out for my mom's birthday. My girlfriend commented on my mom's necklace, to which my mom answered that she already picked out the style for my girlfriend's jewelry set when we get married. In our tradition, the family of the groom gifts their new daughter-in-law a necklace, earrings, and another piece of jewelry during the morning event on the wedding day. The set usually costs $40,000 to $50,000 in my family tradition. That's a lot of money for a necklace and some earrings, but like also really nice that they want to involve you in their traditions. My girlfriend was honored, then asked if my mom picked out one for sister-in-law since their wedding was coming out. My mom said no, and she was gonna meet with the jeweler soon to see what they have to offer. I spoke up and asked why they're going through with this one tradition when sister-in-law forbade all of our other traditions.
I like money.
I said I wasn't chipping in and suggested gifting her a toaster. Oh no, the toaster, eh? The toaster! Why do I know this is not gonna go well? Why do I know what's coming? I do know what's coming. Last night, my brother-in-law calls me screaming with sister-in-law yelling in the background. Apparently, our parents told them we're not keeping the one tradition that will cost us $40,000 to $50,000. Well, that's fair because she doesn't really seem to appreciate any other traditions. Does she only appreciate the ones worth lots of money?
Yes.
He called me an a-hole and told me that unless I and my parents follow through on the jewelry gift, we are uninvited.
Oh, it is on.
I see how it is. Am I the a-hole for following sister-in-law's lead, keeping in our traditions out of the wedding? No, that's what she wanted. It's a tradition.
When people do this, I don't really know what that means.
Around and find out. I don't mind. Like, I really don't. Like, it's one thing to be kind of upset about it, but it's another thing to threaten to uninvite you from the wedding because she's not getting a present. Or the present that she specifically wanted. She was probably gonna sell it anyway, like realistically. I'm curious though, what would she actually have worn it? Or would she just have like kept it and sold it? You're not the a-hole for now, but let's get some more context. Even though future sister-in-law is annoying and disrespectful, I don't get racist vibes from her. Trust me, I would love it if she was because that would give me more things to hold against her, but she's not. Part of our tradition is that the groom's immediate family all chip in for the jewelry set. Since all of our other siblings are either in school or just starting their careers, I'm the only one who can financially chip in. I was gonna cover half the cost while my parents covered the other half, which is why I thought I had a say in what we get them. I don't know, this is a tough one. This is okay. On the one hand, it is her wedding, and if she doesn't want to make it a cultural wedding, that is her choice. But it's like, it's also the little digs at your culture, and then like only wanting things, and then only wanting something having to do with your culture that involves giving expensive gifts. Why wasn't she this passionate about other things that don't involve jewelry? My girlfriend called my future sister-in-law gorgeous the first time they met. She has a couple of degrees. That is why my brother's with her. My brother doesn't stand up for himself much, and to be honest, other night when he screamed at me was the first time in our lives that he did. It shocked me. We didn't want their wedding to completely be drenched in our tradition as much as we wanted some of our tradition mixed in. We didn't care as much for the food as we did about the part where they go from one table to another so that the guests at each table can toast the newlywed. We understand that our traditional traditional morning and lunch ceremonies in addition to the church and reception could be much. So we just asked for a short 1-hour morning ceremony with the traditional pomp, such as the groom's family bringing a parade of gifts, but they refused and insisted on just the church and reception. She calls it a fake New Year. We made up just to party. Like, you say that she's not racist, but like, kind of a rude thing to say. Like, it really is. Hasn't Lunar New Year been around like a lot longer than our New Year?
Ironic.
Like the traditional like New Year's Eve celebration, hasn't that been around for much less time than the Lunar New Year? History of the Chinese New Year festival can be traced back to more than 4,000 years ago. I rest my case. Dude, she screams gold digging. Totally nasty comments. She must be insanely attractive to cover up her disgusting personality. Not the a-hole. Talk with your parents and tell them to stand their ground even more, as it's proving she's just using the family. I mean, why are you only accepting of traditions when it benefits you?
Money!
This is the thing about mixed couples. The lovely world, we're marrying people from different cultures and backgrounds. In order to really respect that person and learn everything about them, you do have to try things. You don't have to like everything. But like, I don't know, a wedding is a big deal and different cultures have different traditions for weddings. You should be excited to learn about that. If you don't want to marry someone Chinese, then don't marry someone Chinese. I mean, why else would a racist marry into a culture she has zero respect for? Also, I have to admit, I was thinking, sheesh, how good is she in those activities that his brother is okay with a blatant racism and disrespect to their culture?
Oh, she's good. She's very good.
Honestly, call off the wedding. This is weird. I received this handwritten letter from the maid of honor. Month and day 2014 is coming. Bride name and groom name are getting married and look forward to celebrating the very special day with family and friends. The bride and groom are humbly asking for monetary gifts of $200 to... God bless you, maid of honor name. Look at this little note down here. 2 days after I sent the bride and groom, an ex-employee who was stealing from my retail store a decline response to their backyard wedding. The maid of honor wrote a handwritten note to you requesting that you give a very large amount of money to the bride who has stolen from you.
Are you insane?
Well, if the shoe fits. I find it weird that she invited you in the first place. Did you catch her stealing? Like, was this like out in the open? Like, how did you know? Like, you knew? I find it weird that she invited you, honestly. But it sounds like she was just trying to get more money out of you. You're the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for asking my sister whether I could have my wedding at her house even though she's bought me my wedding dress? I, 25 female, was supposed to get married in late April. Due to COVID, we decided to postpone. We've been postponing and finally our venue's opening up, but they said we can only bring 20 guests.
What?
We originally had a guest list of over 100 people, but due to the pandemic, a lot of them backed out and said they'd attend over Zoom. We're down to 60 people now. My sister was one of those people. She was 2 months pregnant at the time, now she's 7 months along or almost, and said that she'd attend over Zoom. I know she felt very bad, so she bought me my wedding dress as my wedding gift and apology present. For a while now, brother-in-law have been in the process of buying a new house. They finally moved in a month and a half ago. Their house is gorgeous. It has a pool and tennis court. I know that she can get her pool covered, and removing the nets from the tennis court would open up a world of possibilities and give us so much space to work with. Your sister told you that she's pregnant and can't attend your wedding, and your solution is to go and have the wedding at her house? What's she supposed to do? Where's she supposed to go?
Surprise!
She was unhappy when I brought it up. Yeah, because that's Delulu. That's a Delulu request. Apparently she didn't want people coming in and out, setting up the place, then giving up a spare bedroom or two to me and my bridesmaids and having makeup artists come in the house. Okay, so she's literally told you how uncomfortable she is to the point where she can't attend your wedding because she's pregnant and doesn't want to put her child at risk. And your solution is to now go into her house with a bunch of people she doesn't know and have the wedding there?
What are you, stupid?
Why did you even ask this? This is bizarre. I don't get the big deal. She can still stay inside and watch the ceremony over Zoom, or even better, her balcony. Okay, so what happens like in the days after the wedding? Are you gonna pay someone to come and clean everything from top to bottom? This is the only way I can get all 60 of my guests to attend without cutting down more. I highly doubt that that's the only way, okay? I don't get why she doesn't want to compromise. She doesn't have to attend in person if she doesn't want to, but it's her house. She said she's already bought me my wedding dress, but I'm willing to pay her back for it in monthly payments if it means she'll let me have her wedding at her place. Okay, this is a lot. You're asking a lot. Did she say no? Good. Another thing you can do, other people are saying, is you could have waited until after COVID if you wanted everybody to attend. What's the rush? Why are you in such a rush, babe? You're the a-hole. American Idol singer famous for his rendition of She Bangs. Oh God, this guy wants you to pay for his wedding. Stop. William Hung, I haven't heard your name in so long. Hey everyone, I have some exciting news to share. I'm getting married. Well, congratulations, William.
You dumb bastard.
That's right, the lovable American Idol contestant who captured your hearts with unforgettable performances is trying to knot with my sweetheart. I mean, that's one way to put it, yeah. As I prepare to start this exciting new chapter, I could use your support. That's why I'm encouraging you to make a donation to my wedding registry. By doing so, you'll not only be helping to make my special day even more memorable, but also showing love and support for my lifelong mission to help more people make their dreams come true. It is your dream to help other people, but you want other people to help you, so you help other people.
I honestly didn't get any of that.
Your contribution can help cover everything from the wedding venue to the cake and everything in between. Whether you're able to give a little or a lot, every dollar counts and will be greatly appreciated. So what are you waiting for? A lot. I'm waiting for a lot of things. I'm waiting for a better reason to give this person a lot of money. I'm waiting for a better excuse as to why you're rushing a marriage when you clearly can't afford it. You're the a-hole. In search of a baker that would be honored to assist a military couple with their cake or cupcakes next summer. Groom is active duty U.S. Army officer and will be away another year until they get married. Bride is still in Oregon working on her bachelor's degree. Couple is paying for their own wedding off of his income and finding that something is going to have to give as far as the expense of the big day. If any baker's willing to help, please PM us. We are not looking for a $600 cake as they can't afford it. Is anyone willing to do it for them for a nice discount or even donation depending? Guest list will be 200. Well, there's your first problem. 200 people. You want to feed 200 people. I love how we're including the part where the groom is in active duty. Like, I sympathize, I do, but like, bride is in Oregon working on her bachelor's degree. Okay, I mean, I went to school, I got a bachelor's degree, I had a job as well, just saying.
Step 1 is a job. Step 2 is a man. Step 3 is a baby with that man so you can quit step 1.
She stabbed me in the thigh during the meal at our wedding, still in prison.
I'm gonna need some more context.
This story needs more than 2 sentences, even though they are admirably concise. I read this story and desperately want to believe you married an inmate and she shanked you in front of the snack machines in the visiting room after the ceremony. At the wedding, spilled my entire gyro on her nice dress and she stabbed me and my mother-in-law called the cops. She's now in prison, but wasn't until the night of our wedding. She is now. What did you get stabbed with? A steak knife from catering. I thought it was a pen or something. Sorry. I shouldn't laugh. Hey, don't knock him. Tzatziki sauce is fire. Wait, are we talking about a gyro? Like as in like a Greek wrap? Like a wrap? You spilled your wrap on her. Well, so it worked out then. You guys good? Still together? Husbands of bridezillas, did you know about the behavior before the wedding? What happened? My dad remarried. He's fairly well off, but at the time I didn't realize it. Come the wedding day, his soon-to-be ex-bride stepped out of the limo and pushed me away from her when I tried to give her a congratulatory hug. I was 11. That part of the wedding threw me off, and sure enough, 6 months later, they were divorced. I mean, I'm honestly confused as to why it took 6 months. As a dad of an 11-year-old currently going through a divorce, this is infuriating. There's no part of me that would like be okay with watching that happen or finding out about that. Maybe divorce takes time. I'm honestly surprised the wedding even went ahead. It's kind of difficult to make an excuse for that type of thing.
Oh, she was just she's drunk. She just pushes kids when she's drunk.
Not a guy, didn't marry a bridezilla, did, however, spend 4 years of my life working in a men's formal wear sales and rental chain in the Seattle suburbs in the 90s, specifically in downtown Kirkland, where the average wedding gown from the bridal shop down the street started at $3,000. My most memorable bridezilla was this woman who came in with her fiancé. Fancy fiancé. Charlotte is fiancé. Poor dude never said a word. She wanted a very specific color of shirt to match her diamond white gown in a mandarin collar with a mid-range shawl collar 2-button jacket. 14 of them. Okay, pretty straightforward, but I like that second but. When you're renting shirts, particularly these shirts because they were newer, so some were closer to white and some were very ivory, and they're coming from a warehouse downtown, I can't guarantee every shirt will be the same color, let alone the exact same shade of diamond white, which I explained twice. And she signed off on it because this was not my first bridezilla rodeo. She agreed but emphasized the shirts would all be the same color and they would be the right color. Okay, I'll do my best. Cue 6 weeks later, the Thursday before the wedding. Bridezilla comes in with her poor fiance. We pulled out the tuxes. Of course, the shirts were exactly as I warned her they would be, several shades, and only one was her perfect color, not the groom's. She lost her ever-loving Shaisa, screaming, crying, pounding on glass countertops, wailing at the top of her lungs that we were discriminating against her because she was Japanese. Yeah, hun, so is like half of Greater Seattle. She got so agitated, she shattered our front counter with her pounding. The cops were called. Bride got arrested. Groom took his and everyone else's tuxes and left, still without a word other than profuse apologies. Sunday, I happened to be accepting returns. Father of the groom comes back with 14 unworn tuxes. He explained that the bride spent 24 hours in jail after my spineless manager refused to press charges. At the rehearsal dinner, the bride threw an insane temper tantrum, complete with throwing glassware, swearing, and finally punching the groom in the face. He declined to proceed with the marriage. Well, yeah. I will never forget that woman's crazy eyes or her insistence on the perfect colored shirts from a $90 rental. There had to be red flags. Give me a friggin' break. You got all the way, like, pretty much to the altar with this woman and you had not an idea how crazy she was? Couldn't they have just bought brand new shirts? Why insist on renting used shirts that might be discolored? Surely a new shirt isn't going to break anyone. They don't want to pay for it. Wanting, demanding really that everything be absolutely perfect and being cheap are qualities that often go hand in hand. Yeah, entitlement's a funny thing, isn't it? Best friend divorced a 7-day-old marriage. His wife went nuts over wedding photos. My best friend Matt, 25 years old, married Rose, 27. Almost a month ago, everything was fine and they went on their honeymoon. The real problem started when the photographers handling their wedding sent some photos as a sneak peek to the event. As I said on my other post, Matt, Han, and I are close friends since boarding school. We've been through a lot and was there for each other when we needed support and help the most. This is important later. Han's looks and appearance is rather feminine and I have been on the positive and negative side on things about this. He used to get bullied about it. Girls don't want to date a guy who's prettier than them and guys would harass him. He's toughened up and he can be comfortable with himself, though he still can be sensitive at times. This was true when he called me crying a bit on the day Rose had called Han to insult and berate him over the photos from the wedding. At first I was confused of what was happening and Han sent me a recording of their call. In the heat of the moment I called Matt about his wife and sent him the call. I didn't receive the call from Matt, but I received a call from his dad telling me his son is on a flight home and leaving his new wife in their honeymoon suite. It started to snowball from there and everyone is calling everyone. Rose is drunk and calling Han, accusing him, and to the extent of also me having an affair with his husband. And this is a WTF moment for me as well as Han. Everything is chaos when the photos were sent to us, but we waited for Matt to arrive. Matt was picked up at the airport and he immediately called us asking if we could meet at their house. When we got there, he was standing by the front of their house pacing and waiting for us. He looks tired and we hugged him as soon as we met. That's when we finally got the answers. Rose got angry at the photos because Matt was smiling and looked more happy in the photos with us rather than her. Well, whose fault is that, I wonder? She then accused Han of being too close in the photos and Matt enjoying the attention. Matt didn't say anything and Rose got even madder and started talking bad about Han and I. She started to accuse the three of us to be in a relationship and that Han was the one manipulating us with his looks. This made Matt angry and stormed off. That's when Rose called Han and blew up at him. Turns out, Rose was irritated with Han because of how he looks and that she also got mad that I gave Han more attention whenever she's around. I mean, why would she want my attention in the first place? She said a lot more worse things. But what made Matt leave her was when he got back to talk with Rose and he saw her cheating with a stranger in their room. He was mortified when she laughed and said she wanted to get even. So he left and came home. He then told us the reality of how Rose has been acting since he proposed to her, how they almost ended their engagement when Rose refused for months to sign the prenup, and how she demanded things before she signs for anything. There was a week of utter chaos. Matt's parents canceled the 2-month honeymoon trip they gave us as a gift. gift. Rose was forced to come home, and what waited for her is a whole family and friends demanding an explanation. The wedding gifts were returned, the house gifted to them was under Matt's name, and he changed the locks. Cut contact with Rose unless it's through his solicitors, and the cherry on top was when Matt was informed that all he had to do is fill in a nullity application form. Rose was a mess when she arrived. None of her family and friends took her in. She blew up Matt's phone and everyone else's, begging us to talk to her and to see her husband. She threatened for lawsuit, playing the pregnant card, but refused paternity. She showed up at our places yelling and calling names. When that didn't work, she threatened to end herself, so we called her parents and they promptly apologized and took her away. Rose was getting ostracized, and the story of her violence and entitlement have been coming out. The three of us, along with Matt's sisters, are planning on a trip to cool off after all of this. I know I should not take pleasure in watching bridezillas become wifezillas, but like a small part of me is like, well, yeah. That is not even a red flag. That is a giant, what are those things? The like parachutes. That's not even a red flag. That's a big red parachute. Okay? Really? You still married them after that? I saw it during the planning phase. I broke it off after the demands kept mounting. Nothing was good enough, and I began to feel like the entire thing was less about us and more about her self-image. I think that most of us have this like idealistic wedding in our heads from when we're a little kid. We like imagine what the dress would look like. It's mostly about the dress, to be honest. It's definitely about how she appears to other people, like a princess essentially, and that her life is perfect, as opposed to marrying the love of her life, supposedly. And that's where I think the bridezilla thing really comes from. I'm the daughter of a bridezilla. That counts, right? Sure! Why don't you chime in? Anyways, my mom did not invite me or my sister to her third wedding, but wanted us to help in any way possible. But once we opened our mouths to give an opinion, she'd say, "You're not even going. Why does it matter?" It really didn't affect me much. The wedding was a disaster anyway, and they're on the brink of divorce. Also, she kicked out her maid of honor because she gained a few pounds after having twins, and it was hard to get the baby weight off fast enough for the wedding, so I clearly couldn't have her in it. Clearly, weddings are just about appearing like you have the perfect group of family and friends, and none of them can be even slightly overweight or tattooed. What do you think this is, reality? A bit of a change-up. Not a bridezilla, but a groomzilla. Not a Godzilla, but a T-Rex. A friend of my father was remarrying. It was both his and the bride's second time around, both in their early 40s and an arranged marriage. Think Indian Orthodox Muslim stuff. The guy was an utter groomzilla. He demanded that every event be at the top-notch hotels with obscenely expensive catering and hired string quartets and whatnot for the entertainment. Mostly paid out of the bride's family's pocket, I might add. The parties on the nights leading up to the main wedding event were opportunity enough for him to make a rather public butt of himself, talking at the top of his voice and showboating the entire time. But the kicker came the next day, when the bride was missing from her own wedding reception. Obviously, it was very odd and conspicuous, and the few relatives from her side made some non-committal excuses about her not feeling well. Turns out, this mother effer, had divorced the poor woman right after he'd had his wedding night fun. He said that he didn't like her enough, and that's an almost literal quote. So he gave her the triple divorce thing, and that was it. The marriage was officially over before the festivities even ended. Oh, what's his at? Where he at? I'm coming in with T-Rex. Horrible. But again, you know those red flags? You see them for a reason. Shaming my own bridesmaid because my wedding is in a week and she just dyed her hair bright red. Oh yeah? Did she? That's shameful. Shameful. So embarrassing. Oh God, gingers. Ugh. I get it, she's grown and doesn't need to ask my permission, but she knows how soon the wedding is and thought bright red would be appropriate. Crying, puking. Okay then. I can make the puking sound because I am a ginger, okay? We don't make puking sounds at gingers. I'm just really upset about it, and I'm very non-confrontational, so I'm not gonna say anything to her about it. I just wanted a nice, classy wedding. And now all of my pictures are gonna have her bright red hair. Oh no! No, not red hair! Not to mention she's wearing a blush pink dress. How tacky is that going to be? Molly Ringwald, pretty in pink, anyone? Redheads look good in pink, if they have pink undertones. Let me get this straight. If she already had bright red hair, you wouldn't have asked her to be a bridesmaid because she has red hair and you want it all to look the same? All right, let's see what people said. I agree with both sides. If it had been me, I would have waited until after the wedding to dye my hair out of respect. I personally wouldn't have cared if my bridesmaids had red hair for my wedding, though. The way the bride phased it as being tacky and not classy is so rude. I'm sorry. We have to get over this idea that the world revolves around our wedding. It's one thing if it's like an acting job and we shouldn't be changing the color of our hair because we're getting paid and we got hired because of our specific color of hair. But this is your bridesmaid.
Did you forget to take your Xanax this morning?
You're in the wedding because you're supposed to be friends, not because of your hair color. That's how I feel about it. Some people are defending the bride as a redhead. I would hope that my friends who are getting married wouldn't have a problem with my red hair. But that's just my perspective. Side eye. The irony of this post is so funny. I'm gonna have a different opinion of it than everyone else because I have red hair. Okay? Stupid gingers. My best friend from childhood invited me to her wedding, but forgot to assign me a seat. I spent the night alone in a separate room. Oh. Okay. My childhood best friend, 23 female, got married this weekend and I was so excited to be there to support her on her big day. I'm a chocolatier, so the bride asked me if I could create the wedding favors and a dessert table. I was ecstatic to help with the wedding and went above and beyond to create a gorgeous table that was a huge hit on the day. Okay, so you weren't just like an afterthought. You were actually involved in the wedding. Got it. Okay. I was told early on that the wedding was way over budget and to keep costs low, my boyfriend was not invited. I was extremely understanding and even reduced my rates for the suite table as my present to the couple. A couple weeks later, after reviewing the guest list, the bride informed me that my boyfriend could come as my +1, but if he did, I would be moved from the head table. My boyfriend's a wedding photographer and is looking to build his videography portfolio. Knowing that the couple didn't have a videographer, he offered to film a professional wedding video free of charge. Wow, that is really nice. The bride was ecstatic and offered to move us to the vendor table so that we could network with other vendors. We loved the idea and it was confirmed that we would be sitting with the vendors. The day of the wedding, we arrived 4 hours early to help with the event. My boyfriend spent the time filming while I set up the dessert table and helped the event coordinator set the dinner tables. After the ceremony, guests were moved to the cocktail room while the original room was converted into the room for the reception. While helping convert the room, I noticed that our names were not on the seating chart. I asked the event coordinator where we would be sitting and she said, "Good question," and left to find out. She came back to say that there was no vendor table and that if we were staying for dinner, my boyfriend and I would have to sit in a separate room as we were not on the list. Bro, hell no. The room was closed off from the reception so we couldn't hear or see anything, let alone talk to anyone. I approached the bride to explain the situation. She mentioned that it was definitely a mix-up and that we should be in the room. The bride mentioned that she didn't want to undermine me as a businesswoman, so she never told the event coordinators that we were friends or that I was a guest. She left the coordinators of the vendor table to the event coordinator and left it off of the seating chart. That's a big boo-boo. That's a large boo-boo. Big, big boo-boo. Do you have a big band-aid for your big boo-boo? Let's find out. The event coordinator was not made aware that any of the vendors besides herself and the MC were staying for the reception and therefore didn't think to add us in. Although I understand the mix-up, the bride did nothing to get us moved to the main room. My boyfriend and I were cut off from the reception with no one to speak to, no way to see or hear, and even had to ask to be fed. As a result, I missed the entire wedding and spent the majority of the evening crying in the bathroom, waiting to move the dessert table into the main room. Bro, after dinner so that we could leave. Why did you wait? I would have just left. Baby girl. The fact that you still waited there, the disrespect, dude. My boyfriend continued to film everything as he was committed to getting a beautiful video for his portfolio. The next morning, I emailed the bride about the experience. She apologized profusely and said she was scatterbrained on the day and didn't think to do anything about it. She feels extremely guilty and would still like to be friends. I would like to forgive her, but I am still extremely hurt. I would be too. Your feelings are valid. It doesn't seem that there's been a big band-aid offered at this point in time to cover the big boo-boo. I can understand feeling scatterbrained on the day, but it wasn't just the day, it was also everything leading up to the day, like the conveniently forgetting to put you in the room when you had done all these nice things for her. It would have been different, I think, if like you guys didn't really talk much, but you were still invited to the wedding, etc., etc. But you were like involved in the wedding and you did all those nice things because you thought that you were friends with her, only for her to treat you like you weren't a friend. Why didn't the event coordinator fix it? It's her job. Good point. She could have crammed you in or waited to see who didn't show up and sit you there. There were no like folding chairs around. I'm not saying it's not the bride's fault. I'm sure if she had told the wedding coordinator that she had to find you a seat, she would have. There's a lot of people at fault here. Or she shouldn't have sat down herself. The coordinator is an employee, not a guest. Good point. The coordinator was also a friend of the bride that I never met. Okay. Even more reason for her to understand the predicament. The whole thing is absurd. If there wasn't a seat for you, it's because she didn't pay for you. Good point. That is a very good point. Yeah, that's not a mistake that's easily overlooked, to be honest. TBH. It's not like, oh, I forgot. Like, it's like, no. It's not that simple. She had to count every single person and turn in her head count, including vendors. So yeah, she knew, no excuses. Horrible person. Shake my head. All right, I'm gonna go with you're the a-hole. Like, I know this isn't like an am I the a-hole post, but I'm gonna make it an am I the a-hole post. You're an a-hole. Not you, the bride. And guess what?
Side eye. Side eye.
Bride doesn't want FH children photographed. Deep breaths first. Just keep to your plans. It's your day. Remember, I would still get him the tie and buttonhole. It can be his keepsake. Let him sit with his partner. It's his choice. I'm estranged from all my family, so I'm having my father-in-law walk me down the aisle. I have a similar issue with middle stepdaughter. She hates me, and to be honest, life is much better without her, but my partner wants her to be at the wedding. Inside, I'm exploding, but on the outside, I've stayed calm, made sure there are no rooms available for her to stay at the venue, and given her picture to the photographer with instructions she's not to be photographed. It's kind of a strange request. Listen, family is family. You only have one family, and I agree. You know, sometimes you do need to cut them out of your lives. You need to have a healthy boundary. You need to have them, like, not necessarily involved in your life. And that's totally fair if you need that for your own peace of mind. But, like, excluding someone and, like, making sure she doesn't have a place to stay, making sure she's not welcome. I don't know. Posted in a bride group, she doesn't want her FH daughter photographed, and FH doesn't know, nor does she even want her at her wedding. Future husbands. Wait. So wait. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was like her stepsister or something. So wait, this is your future husband's daughter? Oh, the realization really just set in, didn't it? Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the side eye.
Side eye. Side eye.
Daughter is an adult, but the daughter has a child of her own. So by making sure that there's nowhere for the daughter to stay, she's extending that to her future husband's grandchild. Oh, yeah, someone's, so he also doesn't know about this, eh? Someone should probably tell him before they get married. I think that's probably kind of like important information to know about your future spouse. I think I would want to know if my future spouse was actively trying to not involve my children in my wedding. I hope someone can tell the future husband. My dad's an older gentleman, and as much as I want him to be happy, one of my greatest fears is him meeting a woman like this. Bride probably hates daughter because daughter sees through this woman and has pegged her as a horrible person and tried to get dad to see it. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't divorce her when the wedding photos come through and has none of his daughter and most likely his granddaughter as well. Okay, we need to tell him. We need to tell him before the wedding. Who is this? Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. I know you don't know me, but we need to have a discussion. All right, we got an a-hole. All right, we're gonna a-hole. It's time to assess an a-hole. Am I the a-hole for telling my cousin she can't run off to do her own thing when she was late to dinner on my Bachelorette trip? Throwaway, this kind of blew up into a bigger thing, and my sister said I should post on Am I the A-hole? I'm getting married soon and went to New York for my Bachelorette trip recently. There were 8 of us, including my cousin Haley, 33 female, who was one of my bridesmaids. We were only there for a couple of days, and there were a few different things we wanted to do. Also, I only asked people to pay for their flight and hotel share. I paid for everything else. I made early dinner reservations for everyone on our last night, and we were going somewhere else after. Haley mentioned that day she wanted to visit a cemetery to pay her respects. It was to visit her late husband. I said it was okay, but to be back in time to go to dinner. Okay. I made the reservations for 5 and it was already 4:30, but Haley wasn't back at the hotel. A couple of us called, but she didn't pick up, and she sent a text saying she was running late and she would meet us at the restaurant. She ended up coming close to 6. So she still showed up? I talked to her later about being so late and managing her time better. Haley made an excuse, but I replied that this was supposed to be a girl's trip, not so she can run off and do her own thing without thinking of anyone else. Okay, it's not like she went and met up with a dude. I mean, she kind of did, but he's dead. And it was her late husband. It's not just she made other plans, went to lunch, saw a friend. No, she went to see his grave. She got pretty upset and we flew back the next day. She kept quiet. My sister said she saw her crying. I did text her later, but she left it on scene. My sister thinks I shouldn't have said that to her. Yeah. But a couple of the other girls agree Haley shouldn't have been late. Okay, she still showed up. And she had a pretty good reason to be late. I think that we collectively need to start understanding that the world does not revolve around us and that everybody is their own person with their own things going on. Everyone is fighting a secret battle that you know nothing about. Maybe she was so unbelievably distraught after seeing her late husband's grave and she couldn't pull herself together, and that's why she didn't show up, and she didn't want to ruin your bachelorette trip with her bad vibes. Probably what happened. Let's not let our weddings and personal things going on affect how we treat our friends and cousins and family. It's not worth it. All right, I really want to see the be civil is the first post. Okay. Order. That was a rough one. I dropped the mallet thing. She was paying respects to her husband she was widowed from. Holy hell, OP, absolutely, you're the a-hole. I can understand if this was your bachelorette, but read the room. It wasn't like she went off to go pay respects to a dead celebrity buried nearby. It was her husband. Show a bit of compassion and grow up. And I'm sure the friend seeing OP getting ready to get married drudges up old painful memories of her own wedding and dead husband. He's literally dead! Whose grave she just visited for the first time in who knows how long. And I'm guessing she may have needed to compose herself before going to meet up for dinner, which may have been unanticipated. She probably needed to go fix her makeup so she didn't look like a crying wreck. Bro. And if she had arrived on time but looking upset, OP would be mad about her stealing the spotlight, I imagine. Facts. She was probably thinking of you that whole time. So for you to not be understanding of her...
Side eye.
Attention everyone who will be attending Sharon and my wedding. Girls, rules are this. You cannot wear high heels or pretty dresses. Oh God. I told Sharon she will stand out and be taller. I want it where every picture has her in the back. In fact, that's another rule. No pictures unless she's in it. What else? You have to give her snacks. It's not real. Is that a joke? You have to be joking. You're joking, right? Should we be upset? My brother, who is supposed to be the best man in our big wedding, just texted me a few days ago and said he won't be at our big wedding in November because his wife is having a baby in December and she's afraid he might get COVID-19 and bring it home. Granted, we did just have a small 20-person wedding in July because we purchased things with our original wedding date before our big wedding had to be postponed. Now I'm stuck trying to find a new best man and I don't know what to do. Still haven't responded to my brother either. So you want him to attend a second wedding? I mean, he was already there. He already went! It's not bad to be sad and upset. You can be sad and upset at the situation without being that way towards him. I don't know, man. I think you need to be a little more reasonable than that. I'm just saying. Am I the for having a dress code for our wedding? Hello everyone. We, 29 male and 24 female, are getting married this September. Up until recently, everything had been going to plan and our months of hard work planning had been paying off. The issue lies in the dress code. We have been clear from the beginning that this is going to be a white tie event. The heck is a white tie event? So of course there are strict rules attached to that. One thing we are really looking forward to is our wedding shoot. We've spent a large amount of our own money on a photographer who we hired after weeks of research and shopping recommendations. This photographer is highly sought after in our area. We're lucky to book him last year in advance. So naturally, we are taking this seriously. We have been clear from the very start that the dress code will be fully enforced. The invitations we sent explicitly told our guests what we'd be expecting from them. White tie, no unnaturally dyed hair, no visible tattoos or piercings, and they were free to decline the invitation if they had a problem with this. We also sent everybody who RSVP'd a reminder over several emails weeks ago repeating this instruction. This was going fine until one of our mothers recently posted a Facebook picture of a cocktail-style dress she wants to wear on the day. Of course, this isn't included in our dress code, so we informed her right away that the dress would be unacceptable. Another woman, a family friend, asked if she could bring flat shoes to change into after the ceremony, and we again directed her to the white tie instructions. I'm sorry, what is white tie dress code? I need to know. The most formal dress code. Floor-length gowns for women, black jacket or coat, with tails and matching pants for women. Uncommon for modern weddings. White tie attire has been around for centuries. Okay, so literally for like kings and queens, essentially. It's the most formal. All right, so now that I know what it is, let's continue.
Unfortunately, this has caused a lot of unnecessary drama throughout both our families and even some friends. Both sets of parents, cousins, some siblings, and many more people have messaged us privately to ask us to relax our dress code and allow them to be flexible. This isn't happening. So we have just pointed to our white tie only policy and told them they accepted the rules when they RSVP'd. In our opinion, while wearing knee-length dresses and suits rather than a tux might be appropriate for a day-to-day life, they will doubtlessly look out of place at a wedding that is supposed to be fully formal. I don't think anybody really cares but you, buddy. I'm just saying, I don't think it really matters. What really matters is that your friends and family are there on your wedding day. We are hosting a private event where we are able to set the rules. Having been to other weddings over the years, we have fully complied with the wishes of the marrying couple. We do not see why we should be given the same treatment. Having been to other weddings over the years, we have fully complied with the wishes of the marrying couple, and we do not see why we should be given the same treatment. Since we made this clear, we've been called by the people around us. However, in our opinion, this is our wedding, and we've been clear about our preferences all along. We've even told our guests that if anyone has a problem with this, they are free to drop out, even though we will still be paying for their seats now and not attend. Am I the for having a dress code at our wedding? Edit, just so you know, everyone shouting bridezilla is being very sexist. I'm the man in this relationship. And while my fiance and I agree on this issue entirely, I'm the one who posted this submission. Therefore, you are a groomzilla, which is why I featured you in this video. I think the most important thing about having a wedding, like a big wedding, should be having your friends and family be there. It should not be nickel and diming your guests. It should not be cutting people out of your wedding, which they want to be there for, because they don't want to wear like an Oscar gown. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I feel like you're a bit much. Okay, groomzilla. Let's give this groomzilla a rating. I would say this is 7 out of 10. Groomzilla. Okay. Just my opinion. It is your wedding, but chill out. But also, guys, leave it up to you. If you have any opinions on this, let me know. To me, this sounds a little groomzilla-y. Just a bit. Groomzilla is a choosy beggar. Looking to borrow a car for my wedding day. 12 out of 28 will be needing it from 2 to 8 p.m. Thank you. You can borrow my Tesla if you want. Do you have a picture? Seriously, a Model 3? Trade it in for a Model X and then maybe I'll consider. Says the guy without a car. Dude, it's just an option. You don't have to be a dick about it. You offer me a Mode 3 and you think I'm the dick. It's my day.
It's my day.
Bro, it's a nice car. It's brand new. All you have to say is no. Okay then. No. I will be out of town, so I can't make it to your wedding. You can borrow the M3 if you want. No, thank you. Looking for something at least over 100K. It's for my wedding, not my 18th birthday party. Or you could just take an Uber. Just take a little Uber. Or rent a car. Don't ask for one for free. Rent the car that you want. How's that? I give this groomzilla a 9 out of 10. Am I the asshole for getting mad at my pregnant sister for not being excited for my wedding because I didn't choose a date she wanted me to? I'm 27, male, getting married later this year. Earlier this year when I finalized the wedding date, my sister asked me if I could move the date forward because she would be 39 weeks pregnant and she can't risk attending the wedding. That wasn't possible because my best friend who lives out of the country was only free during those days, or he wouldn't make it, so I refused and she said she was fine with it. Me and her were close, so I was bummed, but it was whatever. Now I'm planning my wedding with my fiance, but the thing is my sister doesn't even show a little bit of excitement for it. She doesn't even look happy about it, doesn't take interest when I asked her for her opinions, so I snapped and told her she could at least be happy for me if she isn't attending the wedding. She said she doesn't see why she should be interested. She's happy for me and my fiance, but can't expect her to show excitement about a wedding she isn't even attending. So I told her it was her choice. She replied she has a good excuse not to attend, but I could have moved the wedding ahead a bit, especially when the bride had no problem, but I didn't. So now I don't get to be mad. I was shocked by how bitter she is. I didn't expect her to hold a grudge. She knows how close me and my best friend are. I vented to my fiance about the whole thing, but she told me I am the here. And I need to cut my sister some slack because she's pregnant and I did choose my best friend over her. Now I don't have any right to be mad. So Reddit, am I the I think you might be the just a little bit. I mean, yeah, like I get that your best friend is your best friend, but you also chose specifically a date that your sister could not attend your wedding because she's pregnant and having a child. Oh God. I don't know. To me, you kind of sound like I'm just saying. Okay, so here's my story. These are just highlights, but there was so much more. I'd been with my ex for a few years. When we took a trip, I was sure he was going to propose. All the hints were there. I had my nails impeccably done during the whole trip because I was expecting it, but didn't know when or how it would happen. Finally, it happened. He gave me the most gorgeous ring I've ever seen. I never asked how many carats it was because I didn't think that's a detail that matters. If it's coming from the right person, I really don't care how much he spent. Oh, that's lovely. That's where everything went downhill. Every time someone congratulated me on the engagement, he would ask, What did they say about the ring? Did they realize how expensive it is? I told him that's not something I feel comfortable discussing with my friends and isn't something I would ever mention. He constantly stressed how I had the most expensive ring out of all my friends. One time, I was so sick of it, I told him I've seen bigger. Oh. He was so angry he didn't talk to me for 2 days. At this point, we lived and worked together, so this was a lot. It bothered me that he was in considerable debt. He owed me a ton of money. He was constantly using my credit card, wanted to use my apartment as collateral for a loan, and I had no idea how much I was carrying around in my finger. He would go on and on about his bachelor party, which was an extremely expensive trip for all of his friends. But whenever I brought up anything wedding related, he told me he didn't care. The only instruction I had from his mom was that we had to get married in his hometown, so all his family could come. We are from opposite sides of the country. Oh, this is messy. This is a bit messy. When I started planning the wedding that my parents were paying for, he told me he didn't agree with any of my parents' decisions and that he would be paying for everything himself. That we were getting married whenever he could afford it and my parents might not even be invited. Bruh!
I'm gonna slap some sense into you!
I broke off the engagement after only 2 months. Good for you, girl. I think that's totally fair. Sounds kind of psychotic to me. He chose to keep this from his family and friends until everyone bought their tickets to his bachelor party. So once he told them they couldn't back out. Stop! No! You didn't dodge a bullet, girl. You dodged a bazooka. A big atom bomb, okay? Holy cannoli. Dang, you didn't even know all this about your fiance until he was engaged to you. The audacity of some people, I swear to God. I'm glad that the entitled groomzilla, bridezilla thing, it's not just specifically to women, although there are very few groomzilla posts. Very, very few. Most of the grooms don't really give a shit, let's be honest. I'm writing this pretty upset. My brother's girlfriend decided to write me a message via Facebook announcing they're getting married in April and if I wanted to be her bridesmaid. A little background, I live with my family in Puerto Rico. If you watch the news, you know it's been a clusterfuck here lately. Not to mention my 6-year-old has autism. I had a baby 7 months ago, so money's tight. Me and my husband have never, and I really mean never, taken a vacation off the island. So we've been saving up for a well-deserved vacation to Peru. April is so close and airline tickets for just me and the kids is well over $1,000, not to mention lodging and food. So I told her I was honored, but I'm not in a financial position to go to said wedding. My brother is estranged and has never even called my mom, yet can you believe he had the audacity to call my dad and ask him to insist? Then later my dad had the audacity to call and try and guilt trip me into getting into more debt for a wedding I don't even want to go to. I'm sorry for this long post, I'm just upset I'm being made out to be the bad guy for refusing to put my family into debt. Stick to your guns, lady. Isn't it funny though that he didn't call to ask you, but listen, I'm not getting involved in family drama. I'm just saying, if it was so important for you to be at your estranged brother's wedding, why did his fiance call and ask you to come and not him?
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
So I've been married for 6 months. I'm super thankful my perfectionist tendencies made me push up the date from March to January. We're finally doing thank you cards. I'm a bottle of Chardonnay deep. How does this sound for the guests that didn't give a gift? Thanks for enjoying the $150 per person dinner and unlimited booze, plus awesome DJ and dancing at our wedding. You must have forgotten the wedding gift, so here's the link to the registry. Peace and love from the bride and groom. I've actually just decided not to send a thank you card, but still bitter. Bro, I didn't realize that people kind of expected weddings as just kind of this invitation to buy them gifts. I know it's impolite to not get a gift for a wedding, but I didn't realize that it would be taken to this extent of bitterness, you know what I'm saying? A drunk groomzilla screamed and pointed in my face because the venue ran out of Grey Goose at 11:45 p.m. The wedding ended at midnight. I filled up an empty bottle with water and served it to him and his douchey friends. Good for you, dude! Oh god. Oh god. Groomzilla doesn't appreciate a guest's attire that was approved by the bride. Am I the asshole for wearing a traditional African gown to a wedding? Last week my boyfriend, male 20, and I, female 19, went to his sister's female 27 wedding. I wore a gown with kente print and a matching head wrap. If you don't know what kente print is, it is a traditional Ghanaian print. I think I said that correctly. Sorry if I didn't. I made sure to check in with my boyfriend's sister beforehand that this was okay to wear to her wedding, because I know some people don't think kente print can be formal. She told me she loved the gown and actually told me she'd be mad if I didn't wear it. During the wedding, I noticed I was getting many dirty looks, all of which came from the groom's side. Flash forward to present day, I received a text from the groom saying I was out of line and I should have asked him if I could wear it because his family was from the South and they had traditional views. And I went as far as to say I embarrassed him in front of his family. My boyfriend's sister found out what he said and has apologized on his behalf. I think I may be the for not only checking in with the bride and groom, so Reddit, am I the asshole? Info, because I got a private message. My boyfriend's family is Asian, Taiwanese to be specific, and the groom's family is white. Yes, I am Ghanaian. I was born here and lived there for 11 years. I don't think that you're the I just don't. I think there might be some issues on that side of the family, and I think it runs a little deeper than that, if I may be honest.
Just when I thought bridezillas were done, saw this in a wedding group. Am I wrong?
Yes.
Am I wrong for feeling upset that my sister is dressing her 2-year-old daughter in a white dress and white shoes at my wedding? I thought it was a well-known fact. Never wear white to someone's wedding. She's 2! Okay. This is insane. Apparently, you're not supposed to wear white to someone's wedding. However, the late Queen Elizabeth, God rest her soul, wore white to Camilla's wedding. Did you guys know that? Oh my God.
Queen Elizabeth didn't go to her son, the future king's second wedding to Camilla Parker Bowles. This is a photo after the wedding. She only went to the photos and reception. It is very strategic why she wore white. This is Prince Charles, now King Charles, and Princess Diana's wedding. And you guys, Camilla Parker Bowles was at the wedding. She was wearing all white. We have Princess Diana walking down the aisle in white, and King Charles's future second wife is wearing white as well to the wedding. We all know why Queen Elizabeth wore white to the wedding. The tea.
That is the tea, my friends. Is it weird that I kind of love that? We shall miss you, Elizabeth. Lizzie. Can I call you Lizzie? I just did, so anyway. Bridezilla upset florist is having surgery 8 weeks before her very important wedding. Hi, ladies. Not sure if anyone has had issues with their florist, but I just wanted to point out to go with your gut when you feel something is wrong. So long story short, I had been working with one florist that I thought I could trust, and she could help make my visions a reality. However, on the contrary, she actually just didn't want to put the time or effort in to work with me. And I gave her the ultimatum that if she didn't want to do what she promised or work with me, I'm gonna go with someone else. Which of course, she easily said, see ya. Like, I'm not gonna waste my time with someone who clearly doesn't care about my feelings or my wedding day, you know? People are so rude and inconsiderate just to make a quick buck, just really unfortunate. Thankfully, I knew someone offhand who I could trust with confidence and wholeheartedly. I have 2 events this weekend, so probably not possible. I'm so sorry. I actually have surgery next week, so depending on recovery from that will determine my ability to make a sample. You could take your computer blow-up pic and take it to the venue to get an idea. Gotcha, okay. Your recovery won't interfere with my wedding timeline, right? I'm getting married in less than 8 weeks. If you cannot guarantee that I will have a beautiful wedding and decor I'm desiring with a timeline at hand, I'm afraid I'll have to find someone else on short notice and would like to be refunded the $500 deposit. You know, after careful consideration of your response and meeting with my staff, we would recommend you find another florist. Thank you. Send Venmo for your refund.
Respect.
I think that if she couldn't accommodate you, she probably would have just said so. I love how the bride just smooths over the fact that this florist is getting surgery. You know, the only thing that she can think about is, well, if you're getting surgery, like my wedding, which is fair. I guess that's fair. But like, it just gives me the ick. Like, it gives me the ick. She's not saying that she can't do your wedding. She's just saying that she can't make a sample for you when you want it. The world doesn't stop because you're getting married.
It should.
This is the thing. You can be a bridezilla if you want, but nobody is gonna want to work with you. People have the power to say no. They're not that desperate, especially if they're good at what they do. I bet that there's lots of people that want to hire her as a florist. If the bride reacts like this toward an almost guest, what will explode if a member of the actual wedding party can't come? She did not appreciate the responses she received, as you can see. Am I delusional for being upset? Y'all are too much and judgmental. There's a lot more background to this that I don't need to share with all of you, but I'm paying for this wedding myself, and I don't appreciate someone RSVPing that I've already paid for on the catering bill, and then saying she wants to come late for a damn craft fair. Get out of here. Hey, how are the wedding plans? I have a bit of a dilemma. I'm signed up for a craft show the same day as the wedding. I didn't realize it was the same day until after I already signed up. I still want to attend the wedding, but I'm not sure I would get there on time, and I'm not sure I would want to upset you on your special day and be late without you knowing. How would you feel about me coming late? And be honest, I'm sorry I goofed up my dates. Late isn't really an option, sorry. Ceremony starts at 4:30. Okay, I totally understand. It's my wedding, not a birthday party. I thought of that too, but they say you can't pack up before 3. I can ask, and now you're being nasty, so have a good day. I mean, she did kind of cut out the rest of the conversation.
Sussy baka.
We'll give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm being nasty because I think my wedding is more important than a craft fair. We've been friends for years, and the fact that you're considering going to a craft fair over my wedding just shows how much you value or don't value our friendship. I want to come, but I said I may be late. You said that's not an option, and I respect that. If it was reversed and it was me, I would have no problem with you being late. I get it, and I wanted to let you know. I've been working so hard on crafts for months, and I feel bad. I don't think I could get there on time. At this point, since you don't want me to come late, sadly, I won't be able to attend. Sorry. Glad to know a craft fair is more important than being there for me. Have a good day. On the one hand, I can understand the bride angry about someone showing up late to their wedding. If they start at 4:30, they're probably getting married right around that time. So you're gonna miss the actual wedding. However, I'm not sure how important this guest really is. Why isn't she a member of the wedding party if she's so important? I appreciate that this friend is letting her know that she is gonna be late rather than just showing up late. It sucks. I don't know though. She kind of cut out a lot of the conversation, which makes me a little bit sus.
Sussy baka.
So this is how people responded. She's making an attempt to still be there for you. She put in a lot of time and effort into her own passion and money-making venture. You also have to respect her value in that as well. Yes, it's frustrating and may make you a bit sad, but she still wants to be there and is doing what she can to make it work. You're more than allowed to express your disappointment in a polite way, not like you did. I agree. You can be disappointed that your friend's gonna be late or that they can't attend, but you can't like essentially give them an ultimatum like, oh, we're not gonna be friends anymore if you come a few minutes late. Is it a few minutes late or is it really late? Y'all know how I feel about people that are late, all right? It's a very touchy subject for me. Just don't be late. Honestly, I had quite a few guests show up late, but at least they came. They were very subtle and snuck into the back of the church. I never even noticed. If there's a lot of people there, what's the big deal? I doubt that you, like, what, you're gonna go and, like, look for her in the crowd when you're walking down the aisle. Oh, is she here? Yep. Hey! Hey, you! Hey, thanks for coming! That's not what's gonna happen. You should be worried about getting married, not about who's sitting in the crowd. You won't even notice her. That's a fair assessment. I get that. As long as she doesn't make a scene, who cares? It's dumb she overlooked the dates, but at least she's trying to come. All right, that's fair. I'm not sure what I would prefer in this instance. Like, I almost feel like you should have just, like, not said anything and snuck in. Because the fact of the matter is, if I was getting married, the last thing that I would be worrying about is someone, you know, sneaking in the back. Your eyes should be on your hubby. Disney dress code, but no princesses. Dress code, formal clothing, Disney bound. Choose any character from a Disney movie, Marvel, Pixar, Disney classic that is not a princess or a prince. Wait, what? And wear pieces of clothing similar in color to them. Do not wear a costume except for children. A character from a Disney movie that isn't a prince or a princess. Right, because you want to be the prince and princess? Is that it? How does one dress like Ursula?
Life, finds a way.
I guess you can find a way to do it. I don't know. It's a bit weird. You want some villains at your party? I'll come. Dibs on Ursula. Am I the a-hole for calling my fiance a bridezilla and thinking it's okay for my mom to get married 2 weeks before us? Court is in session. Quiet. So I'm currently stuck in the middle of my mom and my future wife, and while I know I should really be on my fiance's side, I'm kind of on my mom's. My fiance and I have been planning our wedding for a year, and my mom got engaged 5 months ago. The venue she liked had an opening 2 weeks before our wedding, so she took it. My mom has the money and connections to get stuff done fast, and could just put a wedding together that quickly. She also didn't want to wait until next spring/summer, as we live somewhere with 4 seasons. When my fiance found out, she was furious. She screamed at my mom that she's psycho and pathetic. She ended up bursting into tears, and I tried to calm her down. The thing is, there will not be a single overlapping guest, so I don't see the issue. What the hell? My mom even specified we don't have to come if it's inconvenient. My fiance thinks it's wrong and attention seeking. It's also attention seeking to not want anyone to ever get married, you know, within a month of you getting married. How long should one wait? I feel like other people have lives and we don't get a whole month. Agreed, you don't get a whole month. There's only so many weekends in a summer for weddings, and I will be honest, I went to a wedding almost every other weekend for the whole summer. All of the family invited to our wedding is not invited to hers. Then who cares, dude? I ended up telling her to stop yelling at my mom and being a bridezilla. I asked her to apologize to my mom for the name calling, but ultimately she didn't push it, as she didn't want to, and my mom's fiance was laughing, which I didn't like. My fiance is currently furious with me and thinks I was spineless and failed to understand her perspective. I know, but it's also your mom, you know? Let's see what Reddit had to say. I don't understand. If the guest list is completely different for both, and the only overlap is your mom and her fiance, and you and your fiance, then what attention does your fiance think your mother is even seeking and getting? And from whom? I think your fiance is either super stressed or being a bridezilla. Yeah, we gotta understand being a bride is super stressful. There's lots of things going on, lots of people canceling, this and that. It's a stressful time. It is. But expecting people to like not get married within, 2 weeks or a month of you, especially if you live somewhere with 4 seasons, is kind of unreasonable. Although I do find it odd that there's zero overlap in guests. How can that be true? Your mother has no family other than you? Anyways, I guess I'll go with not the a-hole. OP said my mom went no or very low contact with the entire family. I feel like there's some more context that needs to be shared. Based on the context you have shared, you're not the a-hole. But if your mom is really mean to your fiance, I don't know. Am I the a-hole for having high expectations for my bachelorette party? Oh, this is gonna be good. Then I'm gonna get arthritis for sure. I'm getting married to my wonderful fiance this fall. A week ago, I had a bachelorette party. While most girls dream of their weddings, I dreamt about my bachelorette weekend. I put a lot of planning into this weekend, made a lot of phone calls, reservations, everything basically. For Thursday night, Sunday morning, me and my 25 closest girlfriends rented a house. From the start, it was a disaster. I had told my girls to get to the house early on Thursday so they could decorate and set up before I got there. Well, I got to the house at 3 and they weren't done decorating, so that bummed me out because I wanted that wow moment when I came in and saw the setup.
That's gonna be a yikes for me, dog.
I felt robbed, but we still had a decent first night. Friday, I woke up everyone at 7 a.m. to make breakfast and get ready because we had a packed day. Vineyards, boat, lunch, happy hour drinks, and then dinner and the clubs. Whoa, that's a lot. I got tired like halfway through that sentence. I was getting shaded on all afternoon because people said they were being rushed from place to place and had to carry changes of clothes all day, but we had limited time in the city and I wanted to make the most of it. Saturday was worse. We had a brunch at 9 a.m. and no one was awake in time, so it only ended up being me and a few loyal bridesmaids. We went shopping for a few hours, and when we got back to the house, no one was even apologetic, even though I was close to tears all day. The last straw for me was later that night when we were going to dinner and nobody was wearing the matching shirts we got for the weekend. People wanted to wear their own stuff, but that's not what we agreed on, even though my maid of honor notified everyone. At that point, I said, "F it, this weekend was ruined," and locked myself in my room to cry. It was even worse when I came out a few hours later and half the girls had gone out anyway, without me, the actual bride. I ended up driving home on Sunday and left the house a mess for the girls to pick up because I was so upset. Now it's been almost a week. No one has texted me except some bridesmaids and the maid of honor. I know I sound like a bridezilla-ish, but these are supposed to be my friends and we were supposed to celebrate me all weekend and I felt neglected and I'm really upset. Oh, babe. Oh, baby girl. I understand these expectations may seem like a lot, but I made my expectations clear through the group and they just let me down so bad. Tell me, am I the a-hole? Maid of honor sent out itinerary months ago. It was very clear the activities I planned and the prices per person. If someone had wanted to skip out, it wouldn't have been a problem, but all the girls paid accordingly, so they knew that what they were getting themselves into. You expected too much of your friends. You're not the a-hole for wanting your friends to treat you well for your bachelorette. You're not. But what you had planned is a little bit much. Like doing all of that with like drinks and stuff and having to carry all the clothes everywhere, like that sounds rough. And it sounds like by the second day, everybody was so friggin' tired, they kind of just wanted to pace themselves. And the fact that you just kind of like left the mess there for everyone to clean up, that's not fair either. It's not that your friends weren't celebrating you. You basically put them on a bachelorette marathon. Too much, too much. You expect too much of people. That's all I have to say. Edit number 2. Well, I'm very clearly the a-hole. I've decided to apologize for wanting one weekend to be about me. I need to rethink my friend group and make some changes to the wedding invite list. Thanks. That's not what we're saying. Yeah, the weekend could be about you, but you're like literally pushing your friends to the limit in order to make it about you. You're the a-hole for all the control and then running off crying. No, you cannot control 25 other women. I keep like corralling them and they're all drunk in little dresses and bathing suits. Like, hell no. Your expectations were too high. Also, who has 25 friends? This seems like some sorority craziness, right? Sounds like OP wanted a lot of people to fawn over her for several days. It doesn't seem like a chill hangout, that's for sure. Don't wake me, I'm an adult.
Dum dum da dum, go yourself.
Getting married, Venmo the bride.
Oh my gosh, she has the Venmo. She has the Venmo on her car.
We don't have Venmo in Canada. It seems like a really convenient way to just send random brides money.
Next bride. Hey, I'm having a wedding emergency. My photog canceled on me and I need a photog bad. Your friend does weddings, right? She can help me? Hello? 2 minutes later. Literally 2 minutes. Calm down, Karen. Sorry, I just tried to call you. Give me a call when you have a minute to talk. But yes, blank does weddings. But your wedding is this month, right? She's likely busy, but I can see what I can do and at least ask for you. It's sweet that you think someone who's planning a wedding would have time for a phone call. Just text me. The wedding is the 28th. Winter Wonderland theme. Lol, I get that you're stressed out, but you don't need to be condescending. I'm trying to help you here. I sincerely doubt that she's available as that is the prime Christmas holiday time, but the least I can do is ask. Her email is, you can also message her with details. Girl, one day you might get engaged and you'll be planning your wedding and you'll literally understand why I'm being this way. Mwah! Kisses! Sorry to offend. There are a couple really key pieces of information that I think you should discuss with her. You're her friend, so it's probably better for you to talk to her about it. Number one, I won't get my deposit back from the photographer until January 15th. So blank will need to give me a discount. And then arrange with my original photographer for her to transfer my deposit to her when she can release it. The deposit was $2,500 and I see on her website that blank's prices start at $3,000. So if I give her $500, that should be satisfactory. My old photographer is Ashley Blank, so she can find her details and discuss that. I literally don't have the time. Number two, Ashley's style is my dream wedding photo style. I need Blank to study her portfolio and practice that style so I can still have my dream winter wonderland wedding. She was going to take me to Canmore. Oh, she's from Alberta. Oh, she's from Alberta. We do not claim her! She was gonna take me to Canmore for photos, so she will have to ask Ashley where the location is so that I don't miss out on my dream. It's going to be so beautiful with me in my gorgeous dress surrounded by the snowy mountains. I'm sure she will get a bunch of followers from it too, because Ashley has 150,000 followers on Instagram, and she's sure to get some if she has the same style. Not entirely correct, but go on. I will, of course, share the photos too and give them recommendations to my bridal group. They all love Ashley's style and were so jealous when I booked her. Her style is just stunning and gives that picture of perfect Instagram style, you know. It is my dream to have this style of photos. My dream! It's my dream! Make my dream come true! So, at least she's offering to, like, pay for it. Unfortunately, you're also getting it for far cheaper of a price.
So, you got my money?
So, there's probably a reason why Ashley charges as much as she does. She probably has way more expensive equipment. And that your expectations are up here, honey. I'm gonna need you to bring them down here. All right?
I like how she wants her to, like, correspond with the other photographer, too.
And that's your job now. That sounds like a you problem. Next bride. I'm speaking in here because I don't like drama and I know what is said here will stay here. Please, lol.
As I'm reading a screenshot that was taken and shared to the internet.
I made a cake for someone at the last minute. I told her I was a beginner. I told her 2.5 days is not a lot of time. She says it's fine, showed me a cake with the exact designs, and then said, do what you want, just please help me. I dropped off the cake and now, more than 10 hours later, I'm getting messages about wanting a partial refund because it was aesthetically disappointing. This is aesthetically disappointing. I should have added more decorations for the cake for $200, as she said. Then told the potential clients I had through her I am terrible at business relationships. I hope y'all's day starts better than mine. What she wanted left versus what she got right. Edit, I haven't responded yet. It was 3:40 a.m. when she messaged. Now my TikTok is blowing up with hate comments. Aww, on my cake, so I just deleted my account. No! To explain, she asked for 3 tiers, but I wanted it to look like the picture on the left. And she also sent 6 clients, 5 of which canceled on me because of this. This is my second order and it's crazy. She ate 90% of the cake already. She paid $200 and wants $80 back. I want to see what the cake looks like. It's not here. Why isn't it here? Why isn't it here? I can't see it. It's not here. I'm sad. Regardless of what the cake looked like, if she ate it, she pays for it. It's like those people that like want a refund on like the food that they ate at a restaurant, but they like ate the whole thing and they're like, it was disgusting, it was gross, I don't want it, I want a refund. You ate it. You literally ate it. You don't get a refund on that. You want to throw it up on my friggin' hand here? Like, no, you ate it. Can't return that, okay? Let's be honest, the bride was just hungry and wanted some free food. Client, I'm looking for very edgy photos for my wedding. Should be an all-day job with 6 hours of post photos with the wedding party. What? 6 hours? I need a DVD of all the edited photos in high resolution and you will be compensated $150. Stop. I may also be willing to let you do a trash the dress shoot with me the next day. That was really fucking hard to say. I'm just not even gonna try. In response, I sent a short but polite email stating I could not meet the requirements at the quoted rate. Client, look, I know how the business works. I've been a wedding photographer for 15 years and I make over $8,000 a day. You want me to pay? You want to pay $150? Am I understanding this correctly? The photographer's the client's a wedding photographer and wants what? If you are a photographer and you're treating other photographers like this, shame on you. Shame. 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 Ladies, I'm one of those crazy people getting married during a health pandemic. Whether you agree with me or not, that's not the point here. I'm looking for a DJ for my October 17th wedding. My budget is smallish, and I have already spent most of it on the dress of my dreams, my shoes, my decor. Yes, I'm that girl. So I had a thought. How about a reverse bid? Are there any DJs looking for work? I imagine so, since large social gatherings have pretty much halted, I think. So here are the details. Location downtown. I want a good mix of music for the reception. I'm looking for a steal of a deal. Payment. What's in it for you? Free publicity. I'm a town clerk. We have functions not to like, I'm sorry, but you're like, are you a celebrity? No, you're not an influencer with a big following. No, I'm a town clerk. And you're saying that I'm gonna get a lot of free publicity? We have functions several times throughout the year. I will pass out your business cards at each event I attend from now on until December 2021. I attend conferences all around the state of blank. My networking could benefit you. All right, ladies, now it's your turn. Impress me with your resume, skills, references, and quotes. Let the games begin. Bonus round, the ability to provide karaoke is a plus. Yeah, that's gonna be a no from me, dog. Calling all florists. Do you want to expand your skills in a new and fun field, meanwhile gaining valuable experience? No, but go on. I have one of a lifetime opportunity for you to work with these amazing Sola wood flowers. I'm looking for someone to make some beautiful bouquets for my wedding. I will provide all of the supplies and you provide your skills. This is solely for you to expand your skills and gain valuable experience in a new, unique field. Therefore, I'm not able to provide any additional monetary compensation. There it is. Contact me directly if you're interested. Oh goodness, that sounds like the opportunity of a lifetime that I will have to just say no to. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity, but no. I'm doing this for you. Like, I'm just selfless. And I'm doing this so that you can learn, so that you can get better at your craft. Honestly, I should be given a medal of honor. A medal of honor for being so generous with my flowers that I'm giving out to you to use. Like, I don't know. I'm not a florist, so I actually don't really know if this is worth it, anybody's time, but time is money, friends. Time is money.
My wedding is coming up and I'm planning it all out. My best friend has been so excited to help me plan everything and has even offered to help me pay for some things, which is really sweet because neither me or my fiance's families are really helping. Because of her excitement and everything else, I don't have the heart to tell her I don't want her as my bridesmaid. Or even to come up with a reason that doesn't hurt her feelings. The dresses I want wouldn't look good on her body type. They're sleeveless. She has bigger arms with stretch marks and doesn't really have a figure. Shame! Shame on you! She's always been awkwardly shaped. Even looking at our prom picture, she ruined some of the photos. We would all look really nice and she just doesn't look as good as us. Oh, what a travesty. What a travesty. Imagine being mad at someone who's bigger than you just for existing. Imagine not wanting to include your friend who's helped pay for your wedding just because she's bigger than you. Could never be me. By the way, nobody cares except you. Nobody cares. Nobody finds it as big of a deal as you do. I'm trying to figure out a way to tell her she can't be a bridesmaid, but I don't know what to say, that she doesn't take it offensive, or if I should like make up a position for her that day. Oh, I'm sorry about your dilemma. It's just so difficult. Such a hard decision you have to make, my dear. So that when it comes time for photos, at least I can separately do them. Jesus. I dreamed of this day since I was a little girl. Don't tell me I'm being shallow. My wedding should be perfection, right down to the bridesmaids and groomsmen. Honestly, I think that you should tell her flat out so that she can take the money back and not be your friend anymore. I know to some of you, weddings aren't a big deal. Even as a kid, I used to try on my mom's wedding dress and picture the day that I would get married. Oh God, well in that case, like definitely, just nobody wants a fatso at their wedding, honestly. It's my day and I shouldn't even have to give this much thought to someone else's feelings. Honestly, you're literally creating a problem out of nothing. Like this is literally not a problem. This is you showing your true colors, and honestly, that friend deserves better. I hope she saw that post, and I hope she took the money back, and I hope you guys aren't friends anymore. You don't deserve her. What's gonna happen when you get a little bit pregnant or, you know, a little bit older? Like, imagine thinking that someone's worth is solely based on what they look like. Guess what? Beauty fades. We're all gonna get a little fat and sassy. We're all gonna look a little old and ugly, okay? Including you. And judging by your post, you're ugly on the inside, where it really counts. I know it's early, but I just wanted to let you know that something has come up and I won't be able to attend your wedding this weekend. I'm sorry. No, it's okay. I was just getting ready for work. What could possibly have come up? His mom called last night and his grandmom's not doing good and doesn't have much longer to live. We are flying out today to be with her and his family.
Can't he go and you can come to the wedding instead?
Is that a serious question? We want to see her, who she hasn't met yet, before she passes. And his family is my family now too, and I'm gonna be there for my boyfriend like any girlfriend would do. I get that you're mad and upset and I'm sorry. At least I let you know instead of just not showing up. Okay, this is an excuse to not go to a wedding. Somebody passing away and not having much time left and you wanting to see that person is a reason to not show up to somebody's wedding. And if someone isn't understanding of that, then they're so entitled. Like, they're literally so entitled. The world does not stop just because you're getting married. Well, when you and your boyfriend get married, I'll make sure something comes up so I could do the same thing you're doing to me. Oh, geez. Wow. Really? We're gonna go that route? Okay, this is how you lose an invite? Or how about I just not invite you? That works. That works too. I said I was sorry and you can be mad at me all you want. This is more important to us and we need to be there. A marriage is not a life and death situation. As much as you would like it to be, your wedding is not a life and death situation. This excuse is. You are allowed to be upset about it. Let me be clear. You are allowed to be upset about the fact that your friend isn't gonna be there at your wedding. But you are not allowed to make her feel bad for missing out on it because she wants to be there for her boyfriend. We've eloped with close family. If anyone wants to give us a start in life, it would be greatly appreciated. After all, what's a loose 50 nowadays? Okay, so you went and you had a wedding with a bunch of people, with close family, as you say, but you're asking for money from the people that you didn't invite? Doesn't work like that. What's a loose 50? Just give, it's fine, it's pocket change. That's literally saying, yeah, we had a wedding and we didn't invite you, but can you give us money? No, I can't. Hey. I swear it's always something. My uncle is supposed to marry us. We get married in June. He just called me and told me that his aunt has cancer on his mom's side and that they asked if he can do the funeral. She's on hospice now, but he says there is a chance that he can't do our wedding. Right, because that's like a life and death situation. I've always wanted my uncle to do my wedding. I'm so irritated and pissed off. If it's not one thing, it's another. Comments say they have to plan her funeral for the same day as your wedding. She didn't even die yet. I understand you're upset that your uncle won't be there or he won't be able to officiate your wedding. Is that the term for it? Officiate? There are people dying, Kim. In the wise words of Kourtney Kardashian.
Diamond earring came off in the ocean and it's gone. Kim, there's people that are dying.
Literally. Hi everyone, sorry for the anonymous post, but my bridesmaid is on here. Today we met up for our monthly meeting to go over agenda and order of day, etc., etc. I noticed when my bridesmaid turned her head that she's got quite a number of gray hairs. I mentioned this to her and suggested dyeing it before my big day. Oh, jeez. She refused and said hairdresser appointments are too expensive and she's allergic to box dye. Oh, jeez, Louise. It's really unsightly. Oh no, who's gonna tell this bride that she's gonna turn gray one day? Does she think she's gonna look like that forever? Cause no, honey. Like I said, we're all gonna get fat and sassy and gray, including you. I'm worried it's gonna take away from the beauty of the dress I chose for her. Yeah, only you're worried about that problem. Nobody else. Nobody else cares. Any tips on what I can do? I can't pay for her hair appointment as I've exhausted my bridesmaid budget now. Wedding is 10 weeks away and I think her hair is only gonna get worse. She's only 30. Oh no! Oh no, not gray hair! Oh please, oh please, oh please. People are dying, Kim. I can't wait to get all fat and sassy. This takes a lot of maintaining. There's a lot of appointments. Sometimes I wish that I could just be gray. I'm not like super gray, but I got some stress hairs. I got some stress gray hairs. Imagine someone not wanting to invite you because you're getting some grays, babe. If it really bothers you that much, you can edit it out of photos. But then again, there are a lot of people who are happy and privileged. They feel privileged to grow old. A lot of people don't get there. Let's stop maintaining this, perpetuating this stigma around people growing a little bit older. Who cares? It's a privilege to be old. Oh sure, I'll stop being diabetic for your wedding. No problem. Piece of cake. My sister-in-law and I were planning weddings around the same time. She's one of those brides that needs/wants everything to be Instagram worthy, Pinterest perfect. Why do you need to perpetuate a false sense of perfection to everyone on the internet? I had been in the family for around 3 years prior to the engagement. I've been a type 1 diabetic for over 20 years. I have an Omnipod, tubeless insulin pump, and a CGM. These are small external devices. So come the weeks leading up to sister-in-law's wedding, I get a request that I make sure my CGM is not visible for photos. Oh my goodness. I wear both on my abdomen, so it seemed like a weird request because they are never visible. Oh, weird. Okay. How unsightly of you. How unsightly. That's when she informed me that she wanted them to not be visible in photos. The bridesmaids' dresses were tight and you could see the small bumps of my devices through the dress. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Yeah, this would literally make me not go to the wedding. Like, I would straight up I would just not go. So she's married to your brother? How are these people married? How do they find some sucker to marry them? This is ridiculous. I asked her how she proposed I do that. She told me Spanx, double layered Spanx. Well, I tried that, except the devices couldn't connect to the PDMs. Too much fabric layers interfered. I informed her of this. She told me to take them off for the day. Yeah, I need insulin. It's literally life and death. I'm sorry that's an inconvenience to you, and it's just I'm sorry that's an inconvenience to you in your picture perfect wedding. I did not remove them and she sulked and glared the whole time we got ready. Oh God. So this person is marrying your brother? Does your brother know? He should. I would want to know if the person I was marrying felt this way. I love my family dearly, but sometimes they are flaky. I'm getting married in October of 2024, and when I send out invitations, I want to put on the invitation that if they RSVP and don't come, I'm taking them to court. I'm taking them to court for the cost of their portion of the food and services that I paid for. Is that tacky? Yes, I would say that, and that would also make me not come either. Let's just threaten people with a lawsuit if they don't show up. I don't think you can do that. Unless someone explicitly ruins your wedding and, like, you know, causes damage and, like, Unfortunately, you just have to deal with people not showing up, which is tacky, by the way. If you RSVP to a wedding, just so we're clear, if you RSVP to a wedding and you don't show up, it's tacky. It is also tacky to send out a wedding invitation, a save the date, and to not follow up with an actual invitation, just so we're clear. However, it is kind of just like the deal where if someone doesn't show up, I'm sorry, but you kind of just have to eat that. You gotta take the L on that one. Is it rude to put on invitations that gifts of $50 or more are mandatory? My fiance and I have a lot of people in our families that love to show up empty-handed to events. They can afford to bring something, which is really distasteful to us. It is kind of distasteful. You are supposed to bring a gift to a wedding. I know that sounds entitled, but like it is really distasteful to show up to a wedding without a gift, unless that wedding is for your boss. I'm not taking the money that you're paying me and then using that to buy a gift for your wedding. One of our love languages is receiving gifts. Oh, well, in that case, I feel it's befitting for them to at least come to the wedding with a gift worth $50. That's affordable. I get that you feel this way, and you are right that it is distasteful for someone to show up to a wedding without a gift, but you cannot put that on the invitation. Update, no, I'm not having a wedding just to get gifts. It's all about love at the end of the day. But if plates cost $150 on top of enjoying an open bar, and an individual brings nothing just because they felt like it, I feel like that's a slap in the face to my union and the relationship between me and them. This is why it's good to have a small wedding. Because the fact of the matter is, unless you're really close with someone, it's probably unlikely that they're gonna give you a nice gift, or that they're gonna show up, or they're gonna take your wedding seriously, etc., etc. So have a small wedding and you won't have issues with, paying for all these people that are ungrateful, etc., etc. Unfortunately, that's what happens when you have a wedding. You have to just deal with it. We chose to have the $150 plate and open bar because we can afford such. How about we forget the $50 price tag? How about they bring something? Yes, someone might not be able to afford $50, but why is everyone coming empty-handed widely acceptable? It's not. It's actually a faux pas. My mom's always said that to me. Like, I didn't know. Some people maybe genuinely don't know. It's not acceptable. It's just some people don't know. You are supposed to bring a gift. And if you can't afford it, you make a gift. You find a way to wish the happy couple a wonderful new life together. It's fact of the matter is you're supposed to bring a gift, but you're not supposed to ask for the gift. Would I be the a-hole if I removed my friend as a bridesmaid? You are always an a-hole if you remove a friend as part of your wedding party, or a bridesmaid, or anyone important in the wedding party. You are an a-hole. Unless, of course, you guys have some sort of big fight and etc., etc. It's still an a-hole thing to do, because hopefully y'all would work it out.
But let's just see what you have to say. Maybe it's reasonable, I don't know.
I've been engaged to my fiance for 2 years now, together for 8 years, and we're getting married this summer and are very excited, obviously. One of my close friends who now lives in a different city started dating someone. They've been together for 3 years now and own a house together. They're perfect for each other, and I've been their biggest supporter since they've been together. They got engaged 6 months ago, and part of me was disappointed since my wedding is coming up, and I feel like their engagement is taking the shine off me now. Why does it always go in the direction I think it's going? Like, what? My wedding date was set before they were engaged, and I asked my friend to be a bridesmaid, and she excitedly said yes. Everything was fine until she recently told me her wedding will be the weekend after mine. And she said it was the only date that lined up with her and her family's schedules. She's having a micro wedding with just immediate family in the mountains, which she said her mom was planning. I'm just so frustrated, and I feel like she's trying to take away from my day. Except her wedding isn't on your day, is it? It's not on the same day. It would be another thing if she planned the wedding for the same day as your wedding. But it's literally not on your... You get wondering. I so badly want to be happy for her, but a part of me is just so upset that she won't have her full attention on my wedding. Oh, God. Who's to say that she won't? The world does not stop just because you're getting married. I just can't help but feel so angry about this, and I'm thinking about removing her from my bridal party. Yeah, I'm thinking that you probably should do that because you kind of sound like you're not a very good friend to this person. So, would I be the a-hole if I took her out of my bridal party? Oh, for this reason, honey? 100% yes. Am I the a-hole for embarrassing my sister-in-law after she expected me to pay her and her friend's bill? You may be seated. I'm assuming that you probably are sitting down, but for the few of you who watch my videos standing up, are you a serial killer, first of all? And please sit down. Strap yourself in, find something to hold on to. I, 25 female, went out to dinner for my sister-in-law's 28 female bachelorette party this past weekend. Between my sister-in-law and my husband, sister-in-law has always been the golden child of the family. Growing up, my in-laws coddled her and gave her everything she wanted, while my husband always got the crappy end of the stick. She was always the popular girl in school, cheerleader, lots of friends, all the boys loved her. All right, so she's probably entitled. Nothing breeds entitlement like being a gorgeous, gorgeous girl and having everything handed to you because you have pretty privilege.
Woo! Privilege!
When my husband was always a little more nerdy and got picked on quite a bit, even my in-laws would give him a hard time about this and say he needed to be, quote, more like his sister. Fast forward to today, both my husband and I went to top schools, got our degrees, and currently have very well-paying jobs in tech. I'm not trying to sound braggy, this is just for context. I mean, you're bragging a little bit, but like, I'm totally fine with it. Mostly because I was also picked apart in high school and junior high for being different and not being popular, but I'm pretty popular now, I'd say. So.
How the turntables.
Don't mean to brag, but anyways, love making things about me. We all live a very, very comfortable life. Sister-in-law currently lives at home with my in-laws where they foot all of her bills. She had my niece, 4 female with her ex, and is currently on marriage number 2. This past weekend, I was invited to this fancy upscale restaurant in my city for sister-in-law's bachelorette party. She just wanted to do a nice dinner. There were 8 of us in total, and at the end of the dinner, the bill comes out and the waiter hands it to me. Why? Why did he hand it to you? Why you? Did she like tell them to hand it to you? Sitting here confused for a second until sister-in-law speaks up and says, my parents and I were talking and thinking about you and my brother can handle the bill for this as a wedding gift. Oh, that's just great. Would have been nice to know that, you know, before everyone ate and drank.
Then it wouldn't be a surprise, would it?
Since you're not financially contributing to my wedding, I'm sorry. When is it up to the brother and sister-in-law to contribute to the sister-in-law's wedding? How is that? Is that... What? I love it when you become like a little bit successful and you have a little bit of money and then all of a sudden people feel entitled to your money.
You guys are getting paid?
I stared at her, shocked for a moment, and there was like and you didn't think to bring this up to me beforehand? That's what I'm saying is like, I probably would have in that situation. I probably would have put down my credit card, like whatever. I would have offered, especially, you know, if I had a good relationship with the bride. Yeah, we could have talked about it before and I might have been okay with it. I invite you to pay for my bachelorette dinner. Little weird, but okay.
Guess it's not the thought that counts.
She started going off about how we are so well off, so what's the big deal? She's sure her brother wouldn't have an issue with it. Yeah, but that's her brother, not you. I asked her why her fiance doesn't foot the bill, or my in-laws, and where in her right mind does she think it's okay to spring this on me?
Because we're poor?
She started going on about how we're the wealthiest in both her and her fiance. Yeah, but that doesn't
mean anything. You're not entitled to people's money that isn't yours.
She said that we were the wealthiest in both her and her fiance's family and that she didn't think I would act like this and that I would say yes. I told her, well, sorry, but I'm not your parents. Don't expect handouts from me. Oh, period!
Mic drop.
Oh, let me guess. She didn't like that, did she? She called me selfish. Oh, wow. Really? Sounds like projection. And I called her an entitled brat, paid for half of my bill, and left. Listen. I've had a lot of therapy to be able to discern when someone is projecting their own problems onto me whenever I decide to create a boundary. Lots and lots of therapy. As expected, mother-in-law, sister-in-law, and even some of the cousins and aunts on my husband's side have been absolutely furious with me and are expecting me to apologize for the comments. What about apologizing for feeling entitled to your money? What about apologizing for expecting someone to pay for a bill without giving them a heads up?
We don't do that here.
Like, it sounds like they all discussed this behind your back and thought it would just be fine because you're rich. It doesn't even sound like you even like this woman. Of all people who would pay for something like a bachelorette party, it should be the parents or the fiance. But like, I feel like it's kind of like the people in the wedding party, you know, like the bridesmaids would all pitch in and all cover the cost of it. It is not normal to ask one person to pay the bill and like not even give them a heads up for it. Like that's just bizarre to me.
This is outrageous. It's unfair.
I told them over my dead body. Husband is 100% on my side and we're debating not going to the wedding. I was talking to my mom and she thinks I took it too far with the comments and should just apologize to keep the peace. Am I the a-hole? Info, the bill was close to $1,000 USD. Oh, hell to the no. So what happened to the bill? Who paid? I'm curious. I would have just like given my credit card, paid your part, and then like left quietly out the back. All right, I'm gonna go with not the a-hole, but just because I definitely deal with people a lot like this. It wasn't your responsibility to pay for the bill. She didn't ask you in advance, and it's like insulting to think that you can just kind of bring that up. Oh, you've just got money, so you pay for it. It's like such like a weird thing to expect. I'm a super generous person. I pay for bills a lot, constantly putting down my credit card, constantly taking out people and employees and everybody. But as soon as you start to expect it, that's where I start to dislike it. Never expect your rich friend to pay for everything.
So what's the point?
They're doing those things out of the kindness of their heart, not because they're your meal ticket. Don't apologize no matter how much money you make. You're not expected to contribute to your sister-in-law's wedding. WTF. Literally, like, I'm sorry, what? Foot the bill for an entire bachelorette party that you were attending as a guest? Yeah, like you're not even in the wedding party? What? De-escalate her temper tantrum once she didn't get her way. The burden of payment for a bachelorette party usually falls on the maid of honor and bridesmaids. That's what I'm saying. And arrange for ahead of time or the bride. It's not up to like the rich person in the friend group to pay for it, let alone someone that you're not even that close to. And a far more common occurrence is that everyone pays their own way but chips in for the bride so that she's taken care of. But again, that's settled way ahead of time. That's actually what's happening with my friend's bachelorette. Like my best friend's getting married. We're going to Costa Rica for her bachelorette. We were like, okay, maybe we should all pitch in and like cover her part. She actually doesn't want us to do that. So we're just gonna like surprise her. I don't know if she's gonna be watching this video, but yeah, it's common for all of the people in the wedding party and the friends and the people invited to the bachelorette to like pay for their own way and then cover the bride's part. I don't know where this tradition is coming from. And like OP said, this should have been discussed before. It's usually split or with the maid of honor or the bride, but that's part of the planning process, not the a-hole. I applaud the shiny spine on OP. Such a shiny spine. The shiniest. Too many people let the entitled a-holes get away with awful behavior in the name of keeping peace. We should all aspire to be more like OP. I find it weird when people feel entitled to your money. Like I really do. I think it's absolutely bizarre.
Can I have some money now?
You have that money because you worked hard. This is like her second marriage too. Not judging about the second marriage, but it's like, okay, they already paid once, okay? That was supposed to be the only time. Reddit has dubbed thee not the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for announcing my pregnancy at my sister's wedding? Oh, okay. We know how we feel about this, but like maybe let's get some context.
What the hell is your game?
I'm usually not for announcing engagements and things and pregnancies at other people's weddings, but let's definitely hear what they have to say. I'm 32, my sister is 28, and we've always been incredibly close. Point in case, she was the first person I told that I was pregnant, besides my husband, of course. I told her essentially a week after I got a positive pregnancy test, which was about 3 months before her wedding. I told her I was gonna tell our parents and my husband's parents around the 10th week mark, but she told me that I should hold off until her wedding in September. Okay, so she told you to announce it at the wedding?
Something smells fishy.
I'd be like 4 months along at that point, so I wouldn't be showing really. And she thought it would be so special for her to be able to make an announcement about a, quote, special guest at her wedding, and it would be her first niece or nephew and my parents' first grandbaby. I agreed because it seemed like it meant a lot to her, and again, we were super close and I was really happy to do that for her. Turns out, first trimester was awful with morning sickness and exhaustion. I would have preferred to be able to talk about it with my mom, but I was willing to grin and bear it for my sister's wedding. Oh, okay, this is interesting. With the wedding come along and about halfway through the night, I asked her when the announcement was happening. She told me she changed her mind. Okay, so like, couldn't we like have talked about this beforehand? She changed her mind and that her wedding didn't seem like a good time or place to announce my pregnancy. I mean, yeah, I agree with that, but like if you agreed to it at the beginning, then that's your fault. I was super upset since I went through a really awful first trimester with only my sister and husband to lean on. I decided I wasn't gonna put the announcement on hold any longer just for her, so my husband and I pulled my parents aside and quietly told them to keep it private for the evening. They were thrilled, lots of hugs, a few tears, but a very touching and private moment. Literally no one else found out until I announced it on Facebook a week later. My sister found out around the same time as my Facebook post when my dad mentioned how we told him about it. And she texted me and called me a B word who made her wedding about myself. And she hasn't spoken to me since. Okay, this was like a private conversation that you had with the parents that no one else knew about. So I'm sorry, but that wedding was not about you. That was about your sister, and you made sure of that. I messaged her and apologized probably a dozen times, but she refused to talk to me, and now she refuses to come and see her nephew who's almost a month old. Oh my goodness. My parents and partner think I did nothing wrong since she went back on her word and that I should just wait it out and she'll come around. I'm obviously unsure, as clearly this has made her so upset with me, and we were so close before. Am I the a-hole? No. Edit. I've seen a lot of comments saying I was trying to be mean, petty, vindictive, spiteful, hurt my sister, etc. I mean, this is the thing. Could you have waited a day until it wasn't at your wedding? You probably could have. But she also could have maybe let you know that this wasn't the right place to announce your pregnancy before the wedding, so that you could have announced it at a different time. If I had been any of those things, I would have made sure she found out that I had done it, you know? Yeah, I agree. She just happened to find out a week later because my dad let it slip. I desperately wanted to tell my mom, and after waiting 2 months for my sister, it felt like I couldn't wait another moment, and at the whims of someone who wasn't even involved in the pregnancy. I understand now that I definitely should not have waited to tell my mom about the pregnancy. Hindsight is 20/20 and all of that. I don't know. To me, you're not the a-hole. Could you have waited a day? Maybe. But also, your sister definitely could have told you before you expected to make the announcement. I also don't feel like a wedding is the right place to announce your pregnancy. I don't think it is right to take away attention from the bride and groom at a wedding. This is a celebration of their life and their union, and it should be about that. Unless previously discussed with the bride and groom, and it's like something that they gave the go-ahead to do. Not the a-hole. I was all set to say you didn't announce that at a wedding, thinking you grabbed the mic and told the whole wedding. You didn't. You told your parents. Just them. And clearly it didn't create a fuss at the wedding because your sister didn't even know until a week later when your parents told her. Yeah, she didn't even know until later. So clearly the wedding was still about her, and would have been if your dad didn't let it slip. You know what happened here, right? Your sister didn't want you to steal any of her wedding thunder leading up to the wedding. Oh, that's true. See, I was thinking that, but I didn't want to come out and just like say it.
Say it.
Didn't want to come out and outright say it because I feel like that's really awful. Telling someone, your sister, that they are not allowed to tell anyone that they're pregnant leading up to your wedding, and then saying that they can do it at your wedding, and then at the wedding somehow being like, okay, no, this isn't the right place to do it. It sounds like she didn't want any of that time period to be about you. I think that's definitely what it was about, in which case your sister's a major a-hole. Obviously, we don't know what really happened, but that's how I felt too. She saw this as her time, and the focus was supposed to be on her upcoming life event, not yours. That's why she told you not to tell anyone and all, and then she'd announce it at the wedding. I don't even think she ever planned to announce it. It was just a way to keep you from telling anyone so she could be the center of attention for months. That's why she didn't tell her sister until the actual wedding. I feel like that's a pretty big thing to just like let it slip your mind. That was deliberate. Telling you right now, I'm a psychic. Not the a-hole, but your sister is yelling my wedding is ruined after 1 week of happily thinking about the perfect day is a really strange move, as is how can I prevent my sister from getting any attention at all during the duration of 4 full months. Your sister's a bridezilla! Not the a-hole. Do we have time for one more? I think we do. Just a small one?
Small one? Just a baby one. Just a little baby.
Am I the a-hole for not wanting to watch a group of kids at my sister's wedding? I, female 25, am a kindergarten teacher, and I've been teaching for 4 years now. And even though it can be exhausting, I overall love my job. My sister, female 30 years old, is getting married in 2 weeks. My about-to-be brother-in-law has a sister who lost her husband 6 months ago and has twin daughters. I offered to watch one of the twins during the reception so he can hopefully have some fun. I know the twins, overall, they're well-behaved, so I didn't mind if that meant the brother-in-law's sister can have some fun after losing her husband and becoming a single mom 6 months ago. Today, I was talking to my sister, and I found out my sister told several of her friends that I can watch their kids during the reception. Oh, isn't that fun?
Oh, she'd love it. She'd love it. It's her job. She would totally love to do it on her day off at my wedding.
I asked, why did she say that? She said, well, since you're a teacher and watching brother-in-law sister twins, I figured she wouldn't mind. I'm sorry. A couple of kids is a lot different than a bunch of kids, all right? This isn't a daycare.
Oh, hell no.
I told her I do mind, and she better tell her friends to either take their kids and watch them themselves or start looking for a babysitter because I'm not. My sister went on Bridezilla calling me selfish, a-hole, and accusing me of not liking my job because I can't handle a group of kids for a few hours. You're getting paid to watch those kids. Like the kids that you watch and teach at your kindergarten teacher job, that's something that you get paid to do. It's not that I don't like my job. I love my job. I just rather not watch a group of kids I don't know. So am I the a-hole? Absolutely not.
Why is it that when we call people out, entitled people usually,
They always seem to turn it around and call us selfish and like the worst name in the book. Why is that? Could it possibly be that they are exactly who we think they are? Not the a-hole. You didn't offer to be a babysitter. You offered to watch a pair of twins you know. It's like being a chef/baker volunteering to make the wedding cake only to be voluntold. You're now catering the whole wedding. You're not the a-hole, my dear. And your sister's a bridezilla. Frick. Ugh. Siska!